Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with me, your host. My name is Chad Medved. This is my podcast. Appreciate you being here with us this week. First and foremost, if you are a new listener, welcome to the show. Please, if you have not yet, take a second to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening currently. Whether it is Apple Podcasts or Spotify, there is an opportunity for you to follow the podcast there. Or if you're watching the video episode right now on YouTube, please take a second to hit subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, couple of kind words. That helps and pushes me a little bit further into the algorithm, I think, at least. Who knows? Beyond that, though, if you're a returning guest, welcome back as always. Hopefully you enjoyed last week's episode, and I'm sure that if you're back right now, you probably did. So this week is a special week. We have a part 2 to the very long and fantastic conversation with tintype photographer Joseph Wyman. We had a hour and a half plus episode last week where we got into his background, his life, how he picked up a camera and such. And this week we are diving into a little bit more of the tintype photography and some of his most interesting stories, if you would say that. Joseph has had some opportunities to take some photographs of some fantastic people, but he also has had some opportunities to take some photographs of some celebrities as well, some notable people of interest, including Sierra Farrell, Willie Carlisle, Willie Nelson, Kermit the Frog, and he has some pretty cool stories about these images that are really just like, cool adventures throughout his profession of being a traveling tintype photographer. I was listening through the second part of this episode again and looking through some of the photos that Joe sent over to post up with the video episode. So if you're someone that's listening to the audio right now, awesome. Appreciate you doing that. Again, there is a video episode that goes along with this on YouTube. You could find it. I'll call you right back on YouTube, but the video episodes has some of these images that are spoken about that will pop up in the video of this podcast. So Joe talks about his account of photographing Sierra Farrell and how at that point he didn't really know it was her. Obviously she's way more famous than whenever he did this years and years ago, but really cool story about that. Really cool story about him taking these incredible photos of Willie Carlisle, who is another country music, just artist that is, putting out great music. Really cool images, and he's had some opportunities to be a part of one of Willie's music videos that kind of shows the process of Joe's tintype photography process. Really cool with that. And then, finally he gets into this like iconic photo he has of Willie Nelson and Kermit the Frog. And whenever I say Kermit the Frog, it's not just some guy with a Kermit the Frog doll, or puppet rather, but it's the actual Sesame Street official Kermit the Frog. So really cool stories. Again, I talked about how incredible this episode was and how it was one of my favorites of all the 300 plus that I've done. And this second episode is really, second part of the episode is really, really great as well. So I'll leave it at that. Without further ado, episode 317, part 2 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with traveling tintype photographer Joseph Wyman Photo.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast.
So I could not tell you what brought me to the van life, but it had to have been me watching a Facebook. I remember it was on Facebook. A Facebook video of a couple doing the van life. And at this beautiful time, Facebook Market became a thing. And I was on there just looking for vans as something to do with my time that wasn't distract myself from the responsibilities I had to do, like finding a new place to live. You know, do I want to stay with Top Hat? What do I do about a relationship with my friends? I just felt like everybody was patting my back, but, you know, waiting to push me aside when it came to things. So I was looking for a way out. And I think I found a van. And before you know it, I remember calling my sister, asking her if she wanted to hang out to go to Hagerstown, Maryland, to see if I wanted to look at a van with me. And it was a utilities truck from Verizon. It was $3,200. It was heavy, and it was a diesel. It wasn't worth the asking price. I tried to bring him down. He said no. And by this time, I'm pretty wary. I'm very much like, I'm just gonna go back to my Graham's place. I'm just gonna go back home, and then I'll figure out from there. And then I get talking to a guy from a listing from Johnstown. It was a 1997 40 150 Econoline van, and it was $1,800. So I went to go look at it with my buddy Gabe, and I think I have a video of me kind of like seeing it for the first time. It asking Gabe, like, do you think this is it? Well, there's a lot of problems with it. And I said yes to it the next day. I remember, I think he wanted $2,200 for it. I asked for 17. He brought it to 18. So I bought it for $1,800. I have a video of me, like one of the very few YouTube videos I have of me sitting in the van, like I got the keys. And it's really great to look at now. But I go, well, I got it. I did not know anything that was going to happen. Didn't know how to build a van out. Didn't know how to, make it insulated enough to be warm during the winter times. The lights, making they work with the batteries and the solar panels. But again, I'm very fortunate. I have a very strong family, supportive family. I stay with my Graham. My pap, Benjamin, had a woodshed in the back, had all the tools I ever could ask for, and a table saw. So I just parked that van behind the house, and I would work on it. And, I got that in May 6th of 2019, and I didn't leave for the van life until October 3rd of 19.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, like I said, there's so much story, and it sucks that I can't expand on a lot of things, but during that time, the first part of the 2019, what was really happening is, in 2018, I was asked to come out by the Weeping Glass here in Pittsburgh. It's in Allentown. Yep. Kelly's wonderful.
Had her on.
Oh, she's terrific. And she definitely knows how to walk through mud. I mean, they keep going, when it comes to business.
Yeah, then you got Grim Wizard.
Fantastic. She just keeps going.
Yep. Big fan.
Her, at the time, her business partner had asked me to come out because Jason had said no to a Tintype event. Well, this, I believe his name was Nick, had reached out and asked me to do I can't remember if it was either Halloween. I'm sorry. It was a Valentine's Day event. I had never done an event. I didn't know what that meant. I just know that he wanted me to do tintypes for people. So we agreed to a split. And at the time I was doing continuous light. They were 18-second exposures. I dried them out over an alcohol lamp and I passed it off. So to the 8 people that came to my first event, I never, ever varnished your plates. And they're gone by now. They're either rusted through or they turn purple and dark. But from that experience and saying yes, they asked me to come out for a Christmas one in 2018. And I said yes. By this time I had flash and it went well. And then because I did this Tintype pop-up event at the Weeping Glass, a new upcoming shop, Cleveland Curiosities, reached out. And they said, hey, we saw you did this Tintype thing. Would you do it at our shop? So
I'm pretty sure I went there just a few months ago. Does it have is there 2 like rooms? It's like there's
2 rooms now, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a left side and a right side. Yeah. We were there randomly, came across it.
And again, give another shout out to Clem and Hallie. Without them, I'm nothing.
I just have to tell you, it tickles my soul that you say every date and every person's name that helped you along this journey and that were pivotal points in your life.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, something about that is really, really cool.
So Clem and Hallie are the reason why I'm a tintype photographer today. Or as far as I'm a professional tintype photographer. they saw my weeping glass thing. They reached out and said, hey, would you do it here? At the time, I didn't really have a good business plan.
Like a model, yeah.
Yeah, because like an oddity shop, what's really the benefit to bringing this guy out? Are you going to make all the money and we're just bringing people out of the shop and hope they buy something? They were very kind. They actually took up the tickets for me and did all that stuff, and they let me keep the funds. But it booked out. And I remember everything went so smoothly, and they only had one shop at this time. There was a small area. I had plates stacked in Glad Tupperware on top of each other. My dark room was a stand-in thing. It was behind the backdrop. I could barely fit through. And it was so much fun. And that event there was my like, hey,
this is it.
This might be a good business plan. But it also brought me the most money at the time in my life too, because I'm also like, wow, I can now reinvest that into buying more lights, or I can buy a better camera because of this event. Up until that point, it was just weddings that was doing that for me. So that's February 2019. And then, shit hits the fan for me in like the end of March, early April of that year. And I did not know who I was or what I wanted to be at all, or what even my future I couldn't even think about what it could be. And then I just left. I left, but knowing my experience from Cleveland Curiosities and how fruitful it was and what it brought for me and what it did to me, it was the only thing that gave me any meaning at that time that I felt in control of. So I made it up when it comes to like, I'm gonna live in a van, and maybe I can do this in other oddity shops. And because I was working for Top Hat and we did a lot of breweries as our clients, that's the only reason I thought about breweries. And then they were the easiest to convince when it comes to a business model. I'm bringing people there to drink, which is my rent pretty much. Like if I'm bringing extra people here to drink at $7 a piece, and I bring 28 people over, and hopefully they're drinking too, I don't know why would I pay why would I pay you for me to be here to make you more money? Yeah. And I mean, that wasn't my mindset, but I knew that if I ever had to explain myself to somebody, that's what started it. And I think we're circling back to Kurt for Glory Days. They had their first event in 2019 at the Cary Furnaces. That was my first event.
Really?
Unofficially, like van life. Yeah. At the time, because he had so much to take care of during the day, I kind of not convinced him, but I'm like, I'm just gonna park my van right here. And I remember him going like, I don't, all right, man, I don't care. So you got this huge little field.
The most relaxed guy.
Very.
Just composed. But, deep down, it's like someone on here mentioned it's like a bathtub on the top, a draining bathtub. And at the bottom,
the
it's
grist house guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He was very much like, sure. And I was sharing the space with Sarah Van Tassel, who was also doing tintypes. And that was my first ever, that was my, I hope this works. Yeah. And from that experience, I shot tintypes outside all day that day. And if you know tintypes, and I know I'm really pushing on the storytelling here outside of the tintypes, but shooting outside with variables, it's tough. So when it comes to the different qualities of light. Yeah. And you're constantly going, okay, the sun's gone, it's behind clouds. Now it's 8 seconds. So when the sun comes back out, but it's under the shade of this building, all right, it's 3 seconds. So I was doing that all day, and I was losing my mind. And I had 2 very disappointing clients, whereas I had the other 12 that were just over the moon. And there was this bunch of dudes, this little posse of guys that I took a really fucking awesome picture of. There was this guy named Ethan Bolger, who again, was just another fork in the road. Who would have thought? I took this awesome picture of him. It's just a portrait of him for thigh up. He's wearing these overalls. He had tattoos, and he had this tattoo of Felix the cat and curly hair and a cigarette out of his mouth. It's so cool. And I instantly became do we just become best friends? Hell yeah. That day I also had an individual that did not like the way his orange bike turned black. Because the tintype process, the wet plate clearing process, can only record UV light in the blue spectrum. So yellows, orange, dark greens, reds, black. And he didn't want to pay for it. And I went, yeah. And he goes, yeah, I ain't paying for that. As he was saying that, he brought his phone out. He was about to take a picture of it. So I took it out of the fix. And if you don't rinse it from the fix, it goes black. And I frisbeed it. I just took it out before he took a picture, and I frisbeed it. And he grabbed me. And Ethan and his posse are pretty fast on that, and took care of him. And there was this cool little moment, like, what do you need, bud? And I'm like, I don't know. I need somewhere else I can shoot tintypes, place.
Yeah.
And he happened to be working for a place out in Columbus, Goodfellas. The owner's name was Dale. And he says, I'll get a hold of him. We'll get you out there. And that was my first official tintype event on the road. It was Goodfellas Barbershop in Columbus, Ohio.
Wow. And
the rest is history, all because I met Ethan Bolger. And he, that thing happened, and here I am on a podcast.
So you traveled, you traveled the world, and doing the research. I saw you have pictures of Willie Nelson, Sierra Farrell. Yeah, that's it. And all these different people, but it's like, you kind of just happened into being in this van life, and you're just traveling around taking tintypes.
Yeah. And I would say in my life, I definitely try not to have expectations.
Yeah.
I think once you assign that to something, like, you're like, that's it.
Yeah.
And now you are setting yourself up for failure.
Were you using the same camera that you took my portrait with?
Yeah.
Now, just briefly, give me a brief, summary of that camera. Like, when's that from?
So I have an 8x10 Super Cambo. I have a Super Cambo 8x10. It's from like 1972. I ended up getting new bellows for it because I wanted red bellows. So I turned to eBay and got some bellows for that just to make it more flashy.
Yeah, it's a sexy camera.
Oh, it's so awesome. And then lens I use, it's my workhorse lens. It's a 10-inch Bosch and Lume lens. The aperture ring and iris that is ripped out. I bought that from Jason. So that was my first real brass lens. And I was going to sell it in 2018 in the basement at Aaron's.
Yeah.
But I took a really great picture with it, and I kept on.
I ain't getting rid of it.
Yeah. And since then, it's been my signature style because of that lens and the look of it. And I definitely won't give it up.
The experience of the entire experience of having it done was just like, I mean, it was, first of all, your setup is really, really beautiful looking. Like, I love your mobile darkroom, which just looks great.
Thank you.
I love the camera because it's just like, you get this vibe from it, this old timey vibe. You got a curled mustache. It's like, you're everything I would want in someone that's taking tintype photos. But like the process of you and the lighting, because I'm a novice as far as videography and photography, but I am I'm passionate about it. So I'm watching you do these things as I'm, taking video of you, and you adjusting the lighting, the timing, all this, and then, seeing the actual viewfinder of the camera and like how the image is flipped and what it looks like. Everything about it was just like mind blowing to me because, you take you can take a photo with a digital camera and obviously you could see it, and you could put it in a post and do whatever the fuck you want to it and make it however you want. And that's fine. That's great. I'd take nothing away from that. But a regular film camera, you got to wait to get it developed and everything like that. But there's something about you taking that image and watching you in that second, just, expose it and then put it through this, just everything about it is just like, you want more of it, which was absolutely fascinating. So the camera, is, it's just incredible. So like, is there like is that just the camera is that the camera you wanted, or is that the camera that was accessible at the time?
Practical. So
okay.
when I was doing the whole, I decided I'm going to do the bus life or the van life.
Yeah. You seem like you got a lot of equipment. That's where, where I'm getting at. It's
that probably took the longest for my van build, trying to put all this stuff in, but the camera itself, I had this beautiful 8x10 Kodak 2D camera. Right
is that
before,
a tintype?
It's a camera.
Yeah.
It was made in 1911. It was this beautiful mahogany, red bellows, green leather strap, but it was wooden. And I knew if I wanted to be successful on the road, I couldn't have a wooden camera. It looks pretty, it's beautiful, but things could go wrong. In different climates, it could swell and blah.
Oh shit.
So I knew back then before leaving that I'm going to need something that's more sturdy and durable. So I ended up buying that camera from eBay, and it was $1,400. And the reason why it was so awesome to get is it comes with 3 different backs. So it's an 8x10 camera. It has an 8x10 back. There's reducers. There's a 5x7 reducer, and there's a 4x5. Those are the 3 sizes I offer. And it was just easier to shoot that way. I do not like shooting through a huge 8x10 ground glass, and I'm only shooting a 4x5. I hate having all the extra stuff. I get distracted pretty easy, and that's why I love this camera. It's the most practical, and it's definitely, I will never sell it. It's been with me through many seasons at this point. Hopefully it'll go another 10 more. But it'll definitely be something that's either going to sit on the shelf one day, but it's my camera and no one will ever have it
Do
again.
they make modern tintype cameras?
They do. Your best bet, when you think about that, it would be a large format camera.
Okay, yeah.
There's Intrepid. It's a wooden camera. Probably cut with a CNC and all that stuff. But again, to me, it's wood.
Yeah, that's fascinating to hear, like a wood body and like all the things that could happen with it. So you're trying to minimize that on the road.
My camera's fallen twice because of drunks. And now, I pick it up and just bend it back. I love my metal camera. I wouldn't mind. I have older cameras, studio cameras, that if I ever had to, put on the show as far as old timey part, those are the cameras I would bring out.
Yeah.
But I like being more realistic in the times we live in. I'm just a modern day photographer using an antique process.
Well, it's efficient. You know, what you did was like mind blowing to see like how efficient it is, how quick you could get things done. And that obviously, works towards your business model where, I saw you had the Trace event that sold out immediately.
Yeah, it did.
Which
Thank you,
was
Trace.
Absolutely incredible. One of my favorite places in the city. Great people there. But, I feel like you have to think of that. Whenever I say you, the people that are listening, you think about that as far as like, you're a businessman. If it was a hobbyist type of thing, it would be beautiful to be able to like, take as much time as you need. But if you're like, trying to blend all that together, you want things to be efficient as you're using them.
I also realized too, like my dark cloth, that I look at the back of the camera, and if you're unaware of what a large format camera looks like, on the back of the ground glass, everything is upside down because there's no mirror inside the camera.
Didn't know that. It was mind blowing to see. I have footage of that. We'll put all that out for all the shit that I took at Glory Days. Yeah, that's getting there.
Yeah,
don't worry, it'll come out.
So it's definitely a wonderful muscle. I've learned to look at people upside down. But I use a red dark cloth. So I'm working in a brewery, and I didn't fill all the time slots for a tintype. I know by ruffling this red cloth, if someone's at the bar drinking, they're like, the hell's that?
Yeah.
And then now it's a conversation part. And I learned that even when I was traveling, where I didn't have things lined up for me those first, 5 months, I would just bring my lens into a coffee shop and just put it down. Yeah. And then at some point, I'm just fishing. Somebody will walk over and, that looks pretty old. Yeah, thank you. Do you know any breweries?
That's cool.
That's how I used to get jobs.
Goes back into you being hungry and, being a go-getter.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like as you're going, your first, your first few months on your voyage when your van life, did you fuck things up?
Oh my God. Yeah. Canton, Ohio in October. So I had 3 events going great. And in Canton, Ohio, there was a furniture shop. I really wish I can remember the repurposed furniture shop. But I remember it was the first place that had 24,000 followers that asked me to come out to their spot. And I was also blown away that it was like, oh, okay, I'll do this. Everything that could have gone wrong with the process did that day. Okay. And I would say I had a lot of clients that I just had to, you just bear it. You can't. Let's just say, I know when I first started that day, I took 2 tintypes of the owner. I was trying to recreate this magazine shot he was going for his architectures and stuff like that. And the first one didn't work out because I was on top of pallets. And now I'm already like half an hour behind for my event. And then the first picture I was taking was an 8x10. And at the time, I would keep shooting until I got the perfect shot. Yeah. So this little girl blinked. I'm like, that's okay. We'll just do another one. Now I'm another 20 minutes behind. Yeah. I do the second shot. The mother blinks. Oh. when I say out loud that I'll just do one more, the person that was next in line lost their shit. We're talking like pissed. Like, are you serious? And like, I ended up taking the third shot, and the little girl blinked again. And I ended up like just kind of like, just pick one. You can have it. Goodbye. Because this guy was, I mean, he was angry. He was absolutely angry in the right that his time was being wasted, you know, and I wasn't managing it well. So I can understand that. He ended up, after his experience, it was a good tintype. He's kind of like, I get this for free, huh? I was like, yes, you can. So by that time, the new people that showed up for their time slots didn't recognize any of that. And the one woman that did, and she had a dog with her, it went great.
Yeah.
Done. And she thanked me, and I remember her tipping me. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
On that day, I also switched from potassium nitrate developer to iron copper sulfate for the first time. Huge difference. Just to give you an idea what that is, when you develop a picture with potassium nitrate, it's like 15, 17 seconds of development. Whereas if you switch to iron copper sulfate, it's 7 to 9. I didn't know that. I also mixed the ratio with water off, so it was all beady and terrible. And at this point, I was also reminded that I needed to be done by 8:30 because there was going to be a music video being shot in the same building. And I remember the owner not being particularly happy also. He was kind of looking at me as like, you know, you are the professional. You should be in charge. What did I bring to my establishment?
Yeah.
And, you know, he would say things that weren't, I knew he was getting at without him actually, he should have just said the things.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
And then the other thing that was worse about that day, I was about an hour and a half behind the entire day. And we did a giveaway. And that woman was probably the worst thing about it, because we didn't specify what size for the giveaway. And she definitely...
8 by 10.
Oh, yeah. And
oh, yeah.
She made quite a scene to make sure, like, no, I want the 8 by 10. You didn't say.
It's insane that someone could get something for free and just pick apart.
Yeah. So I had switched development, and she got 2 that day.
Unreal.
And at one point somebody did, like, out loud in front of me, you know, like 2 inches from my face, do you know what the fuck you're doing? And that hurt. Like, at the time, like, I had nothing lined up the following week or the week after.
Yeah.
And like,
you're like, do I?
Shit. So that was the worst event of my life. So like I think about that one really made me question everything. That was definitely the event. And I wish I could tell you what I did with my time afterwards.
You mean like how you reflected on that?
Yeah, because I remember it sucked. I didn't want to do anything, but I don't remember the opportunity that presented itself afterwards.
Well, how does that opportunity go into taking pictures of Willie Nelson and Sierra Farrell?
Yeah.
Like,
So
how far after that bad event did that happen?
So that was October 2019. COVID hits for us.
Yeah.
So I would say...
You're just traveling around during COVID?
No. So I was in Asheville,
okay,
North Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm at a coffee shop, and before I know it, this young woman walks up to me and goes, "You need to leave now. Get out." And I'm like, whoa, hey. Just now taking my headphones off. I'm like, what's up? He goes, "There's a virus. Leave." And I'm like, oh my God. And there's no one in the coffee shop.
Is it a zombie virus?
Yeah. So I sit and, out of all things, Snapchat and Cardi B, coronavirus. And then next thing you know, I'm getting these, I had this really big Civil War event.
Yeah.
It was $4,700. They already paid me, but there's no clause in my contract for a virus. So I had spent that. So that's the first thing that hit for me. And that person wanting that money back.
Holy shit.
Lawfully and contractually, it was theirs.
Yeah.
So
it's not like $500.
They agreed to 85% back, and that hurt. So that didn't, like, I bought equipment to help me make a living.
Yeah.
So I had called a dear friend of mine from the tech shop days, Jordan Patton. He's a special effects makeup artist.
Oh my God, I know exactly who that is.
Yeah,
been messaging him for years to get him on here.
I'll let him know. So I called him like, hey, if this is what it is, can I come back and stay with you? I don't want to go home and kill my grandma. So I drove that night back to Pittsburgh, and I spent all that time there. I couldn't work for a while. Those checks came in. I didn't get one. I had to pay back that, $3,400. And I was like, oh no, what do I do? At the time I was watching all these videos of Sierra Farrell and like Jem's VHS of her Dreams video. I was on 24/7.
Yeah.
And then there was Western AF. They had one of Nick's shoulders.
I love it.
Kept watching. And then one more artist, there was Willie Carlisle. What the Rocks Don't Know. I believe that was the track. I just kept watching. Didn't know why, but I knew that I could relate to these videos and how they were made. Because I'm like, that's what I'm doing, but with tintypes.
Yeah.
But didn't. That's it. I sat and dreamt of, like, I hope I get to work with these artists one day. Fast forward, I started working again during COVID. It was the best business time of my life because all these breweries needed people back, but I would get the entire brewery to myself and only let like one person in at a time.
Oh, wow.
So I was playing as safe as I could play it safe at that time. I did feel terrible because a lot of my friends and colleagues, they had studios, they had to shut down. So I did feel guilty, but I had no way of bringing money in, and I was trying to get those checks that I was getting no answer for. So out of necessity, I think I went back to work at the end of June that year, and it started in Columbus again at a film lab that was in this factory building. So I had this whole floor to myself, and then from that experience, I learned how to manage that time safely as best I could while trying to stay alive myself. Fast forward to, I think it was December 15th, 2020, and I finally made it to Nashville. I'm at the Legion, Post 82.
Is that like a infamous
It's
place to play?
It is now because of the honky tonks that were for Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And I'm there for decisions I made back in 2015. I used to set up at the Deutschtown music festivals.
Yeah.
I just set a white backdrop up. I'd go there with camera and I would literally stop you if you walk past me and take a portrait of you. I took a picture of this young woman named Autumn. I really wish I could remember her last name for her music, but I took this really picture of her and her boyfriend. They look Western at the time. Fast forward, I'm almost to Nashville, and she reaches out to me about those pictures. And I said, well, I'll give them to you, but in return, where should I shoot at in Nashville? She got me hooked up at the Post 82.
Wow.
And it was Legion, so I was a part of the Legion. So I also felt like, this is exactly where I should be shooting.
Oh shit! Yeah, full circle. Yeah, wow.
So I set up, and it's a year into COVID. There's probably less than 30 people at this place, and I shoot there that day, and there's a huge long break, and there's a young woman that walked in, beautiful honky tonk dress. I don't know what they're called, the tassels on the shoulders.
Yeah, ruffles.
Yeah. And then she had pigtails, this big old hat. I didn't know it was Sierra Farrell. All I knew is this young woman walked in, and I'm like, she needs a photograph. I'm also bored out of my mind, and why not?
Very picturesque person.
Oh my goodness. And I said, ma'am, I don't know who you are and what you're doing, but look at you. Let's do a tintype. Okay, honey. And it was one of those my mind, is this Dolly Parton? Which, knock on wood, is of our time. And she allowed me to photograph her. And I never put two and two together that night.
So you didn't know at that time?
Did not know. For every second that I spent with her that time, I did not know it was Sierra Farrell.
Yeah.
That I'd been watching her in Jem's VHS. And,
wow. That's awesome.
I'm packing up, and people are looking at the plates, and this old guy's like, you know who that is, right? And that's when I had my
Did you get to give it to her?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool.
And then Christmas was coming up. This is December. I go home, and then after Christmas, I decide I need to get back on the road and I need to make money. I go back down to Nashville to start again where I left off, and I go to a hold of Sierra. I'm like, hey, do you recommend anywhere I could park my van? Because she was a street rat. She worked the streets and whatnot as far as her music work, just that kind of lifestyle. And I knew she respected what I was also doing. So I reached out to her where do you find it safe to park at night with a van? And she allowed me to park out the side of her house in Nashville. And it just happened to be pretty snowy that day. So I ended up staying with her for about 2 weeks. And then my first van I had a gnarly pothole, 7 of them in a row. coming off the exit to get to her place, and it cracked the frame.
No shit.
It was like, it was the worst pothole I ever hit in my life, but like 7 of them. And then the 4th one was the deepest one. I mean, it bottomed out. And by the time it tried to come back out, you just felt like the Titanic cracking. And again, I hope she knows it. Sierra is another one of those people that, you know, without her, let me like stay in her loft area, with no question. I'm like, here, just take care of what you need to do. And, still doing events while I was trying to figure that out, and like limping my van to garages. Thank God. But from that experience with her and to get to stay with her, I got introduced to like, you know, the scene of Nashville.
Yeah.
People who are really trying to pursue music. And then no matter, even if it's 2 people they're performing for, whether it's 30 or maybe sometimes 100 or more, they're still doing it regardless.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate, and I took a really great picture of certain individuals. Timbo Line is one of those guys that took the best Western country singer picture of all time. And from that, I got to go shoot at Dee's Lounge. And a night before the event, I was in the house party, and someone had said, like, Nick Shoulders is in town and playing a secret, you know, a venue or whatnot. So I DM'd him, like, I didn't know you were in town. You should come out to my event tomorrow at Dee's Lounge. And he said yes.
No shit, really?
So yeah, he came out.
I didn't see that photo.
It's one of the first ones. I did an 8x10 for like a family member for him to give. And then I have another close portrait of him. It's a wonderful video too that I actually, I have. But he was looking at the first time it came up, and he's like, "Oh, gee willikers." I believed him. That was genuine. And I'm like, "Thanks, man." And I've taken the Sierra picture. I've definitely shared it by now. Now I'm having Nick Shoulders, the guy I've been watching this forever. Like, here he is. He's just another human being. He's an artist. We're just trying to get through this time together. And here he is. We're sharing this moment. And I get more and more introduced to the scene of, you know, those people in Nashville. I ended up going home because my van's broke. I tried welding it. It worked, and I broke the frame again in Dayton, Ohio, coming home. And I sold that for parts and got my bus, what I have now. It's a 2011 E350. Love it. It's everything I've always wanted.
Yeah, it looks so sick.
And again, thank God for misery, because like, who would have thought? Because
it really is such a cool, from what I've seen in your videos, like, it is a cool bus.
Thank you. It really is. I'm only attached to 2 things, like things, and that's the lens that I have, the Bosch and Lume, and then my bus.
What's that lens cost?
To me, it's everything.
Yeah, but like,
when I found the lens again and complete with the iris and whatnot, I paid $700 for it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, like, it's not like an unrealistic amount of money, but
no. There's a guy who reached out one time, and he's like, "I'll give you $3,800 for your lens."
No shit.
Yeah, and I was like, "Ah."
You're like, tempting.
No. So
you got your bus, what you have now.
Got the bus. I went back down to Nashville.
Yeah.
By then I'm.
Are you like making a name for yourself down there?
Yeah, I feel like you know, again, I think photography is just you know, it's not that you take up space, but you know, like if people keep seeing your face around, like, oh, if they think about tintypes, well, I'll just bring out Joe. Yeah. And before you know it, I would go to a brewery or, you know, another bar and be like, hey, if you ever wanted to do tintypes, I would love to. And by the time they decided to do it, or they saw my work from somewhere else or who I shot, they would reach out via DMs or email. And then I went to a 4th of July party in 21. Again, last names is really where I get beat up. Not number Jack, and it was just a house party for the 4th of July. Willie Carlisle was there. Nick Shoulder was there. A few other musicians. And I was doing tintypes. I was just doing tintypes in the yard. For everyone who wanted. I wasn't going out of my way to try to get money, but I was just trying to enjoy the day. And I think we woke up the next morning and everybody was very much, you know, hungover and whatever we were on, just trying to limp to our cars and put things away and pack up. And Willie Carlisle was there, and he was packing up in his van. So I remember him getting his stuff to go, you know, drop it off in his van. I'm like, I should grab something. So I started walking to my van. I'm like, hey, nice van. And that's a conversation we had. And I said, hey man, if you're up for it and you feel like it, I'd love to spend like 10 minutes just doing one tintype of you if you have the time. And I think he was holding a banjo or just carrying a case. I was like, as long as it's not with the banjo. I'm like, what do you got? So he had this accordion. So I brought this over, and I am in complete freak out mode as far as like it's probably like 10 in the morning, and the sun's not up in the air yet, but it's enough where I'm like, shit, where do I go? There's nothing here. So I put him directly in the sunlight, and unbeknownst to me, the backdrop is just perfect. There's a tree line that has this really upward tree that frames his head in really well. I use this down tree to keep him sturdy, and because it's in direct sunlight, it was a 1 second exposure.
Wow.
And that was a complete guess. I knew that it was going to be fast, but I just did like a fuck it, and I went one Mississippi, closed it, and that's the greatest tintype I've ever taken, because that one tintype. I mean, I had the Sierra picture, and these people has also made a name for themselves, and I've had the opportunity of taking pictures of them. But Willie Carlisle's is like I wanted, and I needed that picture to work just for me, because I spent my entire COVID watching him in this one track, What the Rocks Don't Know, and here I am photographing. Holy shit! This is like.
I got chills right now.
Yeah, more than like Sierra and Nick. I mean, Nick, they're all exceptionally talented in their own right. But those two, I didn't know I was photographing her. And then Nick's, I was like, you just realize like, oh, well, yeah, you're just a human being. You're just, yeah, I'm sharing my craft with you and I get to watch your craft. This is awesome. But here's Willie, and I don't want to waste his time. I also don't know if I'm getting the timing right because it's outside and it works. It's actually something I brought today to show you, is the two plates. That has, like, if I died today, like I did it. It was when it comes to the van life thing, because I admired the guys so much over at the Western AF, Mike Vanatta and Brian Harrington, and what they were doing so much. I just like, I want to be a part of that, but I didn't know how I was going to ever get to them. And because of the first shot of Willie I took, it was finally let's get a hold of him. And one day they Instagram called me, and I was sitting at the kid named Zach Wildy's place, and I did like oh my God, hey, look. And they were both on the line, and they asked me to come out and do tintypes at their first showcase in Laramie, Wyoming. Wow. And I was a resounding yes. And I was in Nashville, and I'm like, all right, October, I'm going to be in Wyoming. Yes, let's do it. And then I shot the showcase, and then this beautiful thing happened. The next day, Willie was the runner for the showcase, and the next day they're going to shoot another video with him out on the prairie. And they let me, well, why don't we let Joe do a tintype of him, and we'll photograph Joe, and that'll be the start of the video. So here I was doing a tintype of Willie, shooting a tintype of him with Western AF, and then I'm going to be the introduction to his song and what's happening for this video. Wow. And it was just this full circle thing, and it was the first time that, like, I think it was the day of, I'm like, holy shit. It like came full circle.
You're in his video?
Yeah. So it's I think it's Willie Carlisle's Redheaded Stranger, or it's another form of the track name. But I shoot a tintype of him in this shed where all of these bison skulls are, and there's only one little window, and it's a 12-second exposure. So I've got Willie Carlisle sitting on top of this chair with his guitar, and and this just surrounded by bison skulls. And I think he sat for 3 shots that day for me. Wow. And then the start of this video, you'll hear Willie Carlisle talking about the song, and it shows me going through the motions of getting the shot. And as the, their title comes up, Western AF, it's slowly zooming down to the fixing of the plate. So it goes from blue to black and white, and then it goes into the song.
Got chills.
Oh, yeah. That's
unreal. It
really was like, wow. I thought about this. I didn't know how it would ever come to fruition. And then it happened without any force, no push, I didn't like go out of my way to try to get a hold of these guys or like try to prove anything to anybody. And then here it is. And it's all because I thought I should probably follow Willie to his car real quick and see if he wants to get a picture. And I love that feeling that I'd rather go through, like, you listen to me today, I occasionally out of breath. I don't mind that feeling, but I'll feel way worse if I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So,
that's incredible.
Yeah. So that's what I have on the table here to show you after we talk here. Those 2 plates, one's a 4x5, and the one I got to keep for the second shot is a 5x7.
I mean, just unreal.
Yeah.
And when was this? This was 21?
This is 21. This is October of 21.
Fantastic. So, okay, let me pause this real quick.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure how much time I got on the card real quick because, we're getting towards the end, but I'm not done talking to you yet. Just bear with me for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Did not expect to have this incredible of a conversation with you.
That my service was. But it is great. I like the Army part being the last thing people know about me because it's always fun to watch them go like, really? It's like,
yeah, like I didn't know that whatsoever.
yeah, which is usually good because then, everything in life is perception or bumper stickers. As soon as you see a bumper sticker, you immediately impose what you think about that person based on what your experience through life.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like bumper stickers because I even do it. And you see baby on board and you're like, I'm just going to slam in the back of this Dragula right now. So let me check this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to get my little daily second. So every half hour of my day, I just grab a little second, put it together, show the day to grandma. All right.
So 21. All right. You take these photos and you are, just traveling around. You go up to, you do this with Willie, and then, what happens after all this?
I think slowly, little pockets of either venues, like music venues and other breweries. At this time, I think at the start of 2022 is really when I started to see the fruits of my labor.
Yeah. What kind of social media following do you have at that point? Like it started growing. What do you got now? You have like 30,000 followers or something?
Fortunately, I think I just hit 34 with, like last year was 30.
Yeah.
This year it's 34.
Yeah.
I think at that time it's probably 22 or something like that.
Okay. So you still, it was picking up then.
Yeah. But that's right about the time. In 22, I started doing an extra thing. I needed to fill time during my day when I was traveling. And long story short, I lived most of my life for my grandmother, Janet. I love this woman. She was my rock when it comes to, that in my life. And I'd call her every Sunday and I'd tell her about my life. And she would be generous and wow, good, just keep making the money. So we made her download Instagram on her desktop after she's playing solitaire or whatever Candy Crush game, and I started doing on top of my already 1 second project, where I was doing a daily 1 second. So again, to fill time, but also I wish even now with what I'm about to say is I always want to find ways to like, hey, thank you for spending your time with me. This is my little like nod to that time together and that blip in our existence. There it is. But it was also another way to share my life with my gram so she can actually be involved with it. So I would do like your typical day is about 28 seconds. And I started uploading these daily 1 seconds as just like an extra thing because Instagram was pushing reels. Mm-hmm. That really helped out. Like that, boom, all of a sudden I have like 7,000 more followers because of these little like journal entries. But now I can call my grandma on Sunday and she goes, who was the guy with the beard and the mustache? What was that about? Now I can fully have a conversation with my grandma, Janet, instead of just Passover foam.
Wow.
I still do that to this day. I need to do a month's worth of catching up on my dailies. I had a lot of things happen. They're wonderful in these past few months, but during that time in 2022, that's where everything really started to like, again, at that point, looking back now, I wish I had done more things with whether it's ego or vanity, like taking pictures of myself in like the Sequoia National Park or on top of this mountain with my bus. Because I was doing so much at that time now, because I was now meeting other wet plate photographers who are asking me to come out to their homestead or just hang out. So I felt pretty flattered on that and thankful. Yeah, I think of 2022 fondly a lot because I had now traveled with the bus back and forth 8 times. So like, four times over, 4 times back. And I spent a month and a half in Florida. So I pretty much touched each corner of the continent, except for Maine. I have yet to go to Maine in the bus, but I will. So
I mean, a wild story.
It's amazing. Now that I live in a house and I've got those priorities and I'm still traveling, just not as much. And I'm trying to stay local and build this studio. But I do occasionally will have a straight shot look through my window of my bus and like, I can just go.
Yeah.
I just go right now. I've got 4 months before my kid's born. I can go. It'll be a sad day to move on from that bus, but I'm also very practical. I know that there's the next thing. I don't know what that is yet when it comes to the mobile part, but I know the buses, its time's coming up.
Yeah.
I'm about to hit 263,000 miles.
Wow.
And I bought it with 163 even.
Wow.
So I am going to put that amount of miles on it before I sell it.
Me and my wife almost bought one last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We looked at the shorter bus. It was not as well done, and it wasn't, worth the money that was asked, but that was,
it's a roll of dice.
yeah, it's a roll of the dice for sure. I'm also not like a mechanic. So,
Yeah.
I brought my dad and he's the one that's picking everything apart. He's like, Yeah. But, it's understandable. I mean, like you have a beautiful house, you have a beautiful wife, you're about to have a beautiful child. So it's like, things, different chapters in your life.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like, how does it, progress after 22? Like 22 things start to pick up
yeah.
and you're moving around.
So 2022, gosh, I wish I could remember I took a picture of somebody that they saw. I can't remember the events coordinator. I think her name was Jessica, had reached out about vending at Willie Nelson's Luck Reunion concert. And I remember that being like, here it is. I'm doing it,
Where's that at?
So it's in Spicewood, Texas, right below or left of Austin. And, at the time I am thinking that, I'm being asked to come out and shoot tintypes exclusively for Willie Nelson. It was a vendor opportunity. It's the most money I'd ever spent on a vending fee in my life. But I was the closest I was ever going to get to Willie Nelson. And my dad, that's his start. That's his
Willie Nelson?
Willie Nelson. Yeah. So I'm thinking, I say yes immediately to the cost and what it'll be to be a vendor, thinking that I'm just, backstage now, closer to Willie than I could ever be for a tintype. And I convinced my dad to fly for the first time ever in his life.
No shit.
I was actually dating a young woman that was going through flight school and all that stuff, and she was a flight attendant. And I convinced her to meet my dad at the airport. And again, how things just work out. Forever grateful for Megan for helping my dad through that process because he'd never done it before. Checkout line, everything.
That's unreal.
So my dad flew out to hang out with me in my bus and be my assistant for the concert. It's a fantastic event. When it comes to vending and the needs for a wet plate tintype photographer, not so much. It was a lot of money, and then there was another like $400 for a tent. Now at the time that was just the rules. You just had to pay for a tent for the fire chief. You couldn't have just some flimsy thing. I couldn't afford it. So I picked this spot underneath these trees because I thought it's going to provide the most shade for the day. Well, when I got to the event with my dad, I'm super excited. I'm talking to people as if I own the place. And I start setting things up, and this young woman comes over and goes, "Hey, I don't mean to be a bitch, but..." I went, "That's a terrible way to start out."
I know.
"Hi, I'm Joe. She goes, "We've decided that we're going to move you over there, and we're going to put the oysters here."
Blasting you with sun now.
Yeah. But I remember going, it was my first time ever in my life that I ever looked at somebody and said this, "That's not what I paid for." And I never felt this, but I was also trying to prove with my dad that I was trying to give attitude back.
Yeah.
And then this person had followed up like, "Well, the spigot's over there." And then I kind of I had to get over that, like trying to be mean back. I'm like, "Oh, okay. I see you're trying to help me out. All right, fine." Well, it took me a while to put that stuff over there. I am in direct sunlight. There's a fence I can put my backdrop on. Great. I'm almost ready to go. I'm 5 minutes overdue from people starting to pour in. I told my dad to go, give him something to do. I'm like, "Dad, go fill the buckets up in the spigot." Well, he's over there for a very long time. And I told him earlier that day, I'm like, "Hey, listen, you're going to see your son in business mode. So like, don't putz around. We're here to work. And he's over there. And I kind of like, hey, what are we doing, Dad? The spigot doesn't work. And I was like, great. So the wind's picking up. It's a little dusty and whatnot. Now I don't have water. I have direct sunlight. And I have to come up with all this money, or at least break even. And it's not happening. I did shoot during that day, but I had a lot of problems with the direct sunlight. It just isn't flattering on the face. And I had no opportunity to move around until later that day. And then later that day, I could finally put the strobes up, and, you know, I get the floated opportunity, like, you know, well, you can shoot Willie. Like, oh, so I brought my dad. That doesn't happen, which again, I expected. And then that's how you get let down really hard, because I truly expected it to happen. And the day goes by, I don't break even. It is what it is. My dad does still get within 100 yards of Willie Nelson. He gets to see him perform.
He's like, that's it. That's a success,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah. I mean, like, I'm still hanging out with my dad, and like, my dad's my favorite person. So I'm hanging out with my dad, and that's his success in its part. And I'm trying to have this, like, look what I got to create, and I get to share with my dad. And I think I ended up professionally complaining to somebody that I won't name names. Like I absolutely like, hey, I'd like to voice my concern with that event and the amount of money I spent and what happened. And through that, and again, it's not anything that the organizers, it was not their problem, it was my problem, because they didn't know the gravity of tintypes. So again, that was my problem, and I didn't come prepared for those problems. But when I complained about it, it was just really about the moving around stuff. So I ended up getting a hold of a representative from Jack Daniels, who kind of heard what I had problems with, and like, what would you do what if we brought you on and you did tintypes for Jack Daniels at Luck Reunion? I was like, count me in.
Yeah.
So I have now shot 3 events with them. So the first year, everything's a learning process. I shot the thing as if I just was shooting another brewery, but it was my first real corporate job. And I had to realize pretty quick that, like, no, you need Jack Daniel stuff up. This is a Jack Daniel thing. This isn't a Joe Brown thing or Joe Wyman. So on year 2, I had prettied it up. I built a backdrop. I had like proper assistance. I flew in my buddy Brett Briggs from Salt Lake to help me out, because I knew he's very efficient. He understands the task in hand. He cares just as much as I do with handling the plates and making things are just working. And about a quarter way through that process, a representative somewhere came to the right of my darkroom while I was inside. I heard, "I'm looking for Joseph." And I'm like, "Yep, here. I'm looking for Joseph Wyman." I popped out real quick with a plate in my hand, and I said, "Yep, I'm Joe Brown." And he goes, I'm looking for Joseph Wyman." I'm like, "No, I am Joseph Wyman. That's my middle name." And he kind of, his name was Dan, and he kind of did like on behalf of the Willie Foundation and the team and Willie, they have a special request. I'm like, "Yes." He said, "Well, let me tell you about it." They wanted a tintype with a special guest. And I was like, I'm a yes all the way. What do you need though? He said, like, "I need you 8:30. And I was like, "Oh shit, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Is Willie going to come to me? I have to do the operation here because of my dark room." And he did not know what that meant. He just he glossed over like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out." So he took me up to behind the stage. I remember getting behind the stage, and there's this little tent. Now, what I will say about this experience is I am going to have this wonderful opportunity to just be in the presence of this person and have this experience, but it has to happen quick, and you need to be professional about it, and you need not to show that you're questioning things at all or things aren't working. So I get up there. I am very fortunate to finish the job for Jack Daniels in the amount that was required. I have this pool of resources and these people, Brett, my buddy Lou, who's doing videography for me, Evan Tate, who is the chef for the back of the VIP area. He let me borrow his golf cart, take all my stuff up. I had like 4 more people carry light stands up. I get to the tent. I see this table. I'm thinking, brilliant. This is so beautiful. We're just going to flip the table over. I'm going to get Willie against it because he's old now. We're just going to have him like put his arm in here. That'll keep him stable. We'll have Kermit. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Kermit the Frog is the addition to this. On the way up to to the tent to see the situation, Dan had said, "Do you know who the special guest is?" And I went, "Oh, Tyler Childers. He's on the ticket." No. I went, "Oh, I don't know who, Dan." And he goes, "I'll give you one guess. He plays the banjo." And I know two people who play the fucking banjo: Steve Martin and Kermit the Frog. So I just like Kermit the Frog, and Dan was so perplexed that I knew that. Like he kind of gave me this tap on the shoulder as I've like been buddies for 10 years. Like, "Who told you that?" I was like, I told him the two people I know. He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Great. Okay." I'm living in both worlds. I'm fascinated. I'm happy. I'm excited, but I'm also like, oh, I just want to take a picture of Willie Nelson. So now I'm like, fuck, and I got to think about Kermit the Frog too. Now, again, to restate something, the wet plate clothing process can't record certain colors.
Oh, shit.
I'm about to photograph Kermit the Frog, who's a green felt puppet. It's relatively dark. And so when we get up to the tent, now this is where I see the table, and I'm not thinking of dread and all that stuff. I see the table, I'm thinking, there's my ticket. I'm gonna flip that over. We're gonna get Kermit the Frog up with his legs and a banjo and have Willie Nelson on the side, just like Sesame Street. What a dream. And I meet the producer for Disney. His name is Matt. And then the puppeteer, also his name Matt. And gosh, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Luca. And they go, I'm setting things up and putting things in. He goes, "Oh, Joe, no. And they open this flap up to the next tent, and it's Kermit the Frog. And it's Kermit the Frog's puppeteer, and he just has a sock underneath his stomach. There's no feet. That one's on the stage already."
Oh, okay.
And he goes, "No, it's that one." So it's just this, like, his arms and his stomach. So I had this, like, oh, shit. All right, pivot. We'll do another. I'm trying to come up with all these ideas. Like, well, can the puppeteer just lay on the ground and put his hand up like this? That's exactly what we're going to do. I'm like, great. So I'm running 2 silver nitrate tanks because it takes 4 minutes to make one tintype. So I have 2 given to me by my assistant, Brett. Willie comes out, he sits down. You can't interact with him too close because of his age, and you don't want to make him sick or anything like that. So you have to keep a good fair distance from him, but he's from me to you away. And, he says, "You got here all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, we did." We sit down, we set the shot up. The hard part about this is there's like 60 people behind me. And then there's like the important people in security and the producers that are behind me. And what I have to do is I have to let the producer for Disney look at the ground glass at night, tell the puppeteer to come up or down. And I'm trying to tell him that I can just get rid of if he comes out of it all with the sock part, I can get rid of. But he doesn't care about that. He wants to make sure that Kermit's sitting just right at the frame. And then I gotta get the focus on Kermit at the same time while hoping that Willie stays still for me. I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but I think Willie has a collapsed lung. He got it when he was in his 30s. Now that he's older, it's a more prevailing issue that I learned from my dad. So he's kind of, he's trying to keep, he's also 91 years old.
Is he that old, 91?
Well, so this is in 23 when I photographed him.
Yeah, 90 some years old. Jesus
He'll be
Christ.
93 coming up here.
God bless him.
Yeah. So he is doing great. And I've heard from the grapevine, Willie doesn't like his picture being taken, and I'm worried about that, but he's being a great sport. So he doesn't know any better. I also don't want him to smile because that just isn't the shot. So I'm waiting for the producer to tell the puppeteer, "You're good." But he's telling Matt that. And then I have to tilt shift and get the focus on Willie, load it up, pull the slide, take the picture. I do 2 of them. And by the time when my assistant handed me the 2 plates, I said, "Pour 2 more. Who knows?" So I run the first 2 back to the dark room. I'm developing the first one. The first plate of Willie he's blinking. And my heart drops a little bit. I'm like, "That's okay. That's why we shoot 2. I developed the second one, and no fault to anyone, but someone in the picture is just sucking in a lot of air, and their eyes are closed again. And I went, great. I have never, I'm an emotional guy. I'll definitely share my feelings tenfold with you, but I've never randomly cried the way I did in that moment in a dark room. Because here it is, I got this opportunity to shoot this legendary individuals. And the first 2 that I only know at this moment that I'm only allowed to shoot 2, and they're both blinkers. And I was going to give one to my dad. So I'm in this moment like, it's gone. So I hear everybody like, I don't know what's going on. I grab the 2 out of the silver. I run back over and go, 2 more. No one liked that. No one, they let me do it for the what was happening. We were there already.
Yeah.
But you could tell everyone was like, hey, what are we doing? We gotta go. Let's go. Let's
Willie
go.
fucking Nelson.
And Willie was, again, a good sport. He's a wonderful human being. But you can see that he's like, all right, what are we doing? And as I'm taking the 3rd shot, his wife saved the day. Because everyone could feel the way I feel. I looked nervous and that something was wrong. And from the periphery, I hear his wife say, honey, it's okay. Smile like Kermit. Willie Nelson looks over at Kermit and the puppeteer, and he brings back this wonderful PR smile. There's the first one. And they do the second one, and it turns out great.
Wow.
And as soon as that 4th shot went over, there was very much okay, no more of that. Because it's,
Yeah, time's valuable.
well, that, and you remember you stood in front of those lights.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking light.
Yeah.
It's hitting your eyes.
That's a good point too.
It's pitch black, and Willie's 91 years old.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
So
So you took 4 photos of Willie Nelson. 2 were blinkers.
2 you'll never see the light of day, and they don't exist anymore.
What do you mean? You didn't keep them?
No, they're just boil it down to just, it's a poor representation of the legend that he is.
Yeah, but I'm saying you like you didn't want to just have that, or you weren't allowed to keep that, or
No, I was allowed to keep it. It's I think it's a weird crossroads because I did 4. There was one that was like the one that
who has that tintype?
I gifted it to the Willie Foundation.
Oh, okay, great.
And then the 4th plate, I ended up gifting it to the Matt, the producer for the Disney aspect of it. I think back, that's just a whole other conversation about that. But like I did that, like I chose to allow them to have those.
Yeah.
Especially Willie's plate. That was it was really gracious of him to do that. And I also know that plate will be washed up in time and cared for than I could ever, really take care of it. And it's also those first 2. I wouldn't say it's a reflection of, I understand that whatever happened, and it was no fault of anyone's own other than the timing of me pressing the flash to go off. But it's also kind of like I really felt like I was falling off the edge with those 2 plates.
Yeah.
And I really thought I was going to just face plant, and I was the first tintyper to photograph Willie. There's other colleagues that wanted that. And here it is, the first 2, and what I think is the only 2 I'm going to get, I fucked it up. And it was also, again, I thought about my dad, and I thought about all these things encompassing for this moment to happen. And I just picture myself falling off a ledge, and like the last 2 shots are every hand extended to help me bring my stuff up there. And, Brett Briggs for helping me, pour the plates and get them prepped for me in time for me to pull that off. So grabbing me at the last second, pulling me back up. So I felt like I owed those 2 plates to the reason why I did it. So the other 2, like I said, they're maybe in a safe somewhere, but it's very much I have like handwritten notes on them, like, don't judge.
Yeah.
This is just what it is. So
Love that.
Yeah.
What a cool story.
Yeah. It happens so fast. It really,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you didn't have enough time to even, really, soak in that moment. But I mean, that's a fucking cool story.
and it took me forever to find out an avenue to like finally share that experience.
Yeah.
Because I had these ideas of, like here's a shot that could, that will, even if I post it just because I wanted to share, it is going to help me in my career.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure it was on purpose.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to find out ways like, am I able to sell this? I need certain rights from Disney.
That makes sense.
So that was its own little problem. And, not being able to acquire that like modern release form for Kermit was a huge problem. And it still is today. But I knew that when I shared it finally this year, that it kind of went hand in hand on, it was Willie's birthday, but also a week later, it was the Muppets' 70th birthday. So I thought, oh, what a great time to, here, I did this thing, but also to celebrate these 2, these 2 remarkable human beings during our time.
Yeah.
So
So whenever you have them opportunities to take pictures with these types of people, are you technically like, you know, I mean, are you, it's your property, right? So you could share that, or is there like times where you have to like sign releases and shit?
So at the end of the day, is always and forever it's my pictures,
Yeah.
especially if you just took a picture. But now I have a lawyer, and I have a conversation now where my lawyer will get a hold of your lawyer when it comes to like, maybe I don't have my release forms on me and on my person at that time, but I make sure to get contact information. Now I know like, especially when it comes to the tangible tintype, you don't get this until you sign something, or I get rights to it, or if I'm gonna, you know, gift this to you or give this to you, or you pay for it, that I'm able to, whether it's my own portfolio book, prints, that I can make money from your picture. But it is my picture. But,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, prints now. Now, what was fascinating about the whole process is, you know, I thought that you took the photo and you just immediately got the tin and you get to take it home, but that's not the case. You have to take it home and put a varnish on it.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever you took those photos home with, do you call them photos?
Half the time I find myself saying plates.
Plates, yeah, plates.
But then I realized that most people are like, what are you talking about?
I like the proper terminology. So you take them plates home and you varnish them. Now you sent them to the Willie Foundation or whatever. Is that displayed somewhere right now?
That is a good question. And it's actually something that I do want to follow up on. And it's in these moments now after, you know, life. Like, oh yeah, I should follow up about that. I would like to think that it is in a frame somewhere to somebody.
Yeah.
Or for people.
Yeah.
But I actually don't know.
Yeah. I love it though.
Because I shared it finally on social media. I did tag the Kermit and, you know, Willie himself. You know, whether or not his team or their team.
Did they engage with you on social media?
No. Which is, it's okay.
I know.
He's got a whole team.
But it would be dope if Kermit put a little emoji on there.
Yeah,
or Willie put a little emoji.
The right individuals, let me just make sure I'm saying his name right. It's stuff like, you know, you gotta put yourself out there kind of thing. If it wasn't for me being there for Jack Daniels and, you know, whether the work ethic during the day for me and Brett, for someone to realize what it was or see the hustle. Yeah, Lucas Ross. He's a puppeteer and a performer. He actually came to me after the experiences. You know, we saw you there working, and we thought, how cool would it be to get Kermit and Willie Nelson in tintype?
That is unreal.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And I just happened to take the test shot with him. So I absolutely gave that tintype to him. So I'm always appreciative. I think that it goes hand in hand with, you know, the more you do, the more you get to do, but people are always watching. Yeah. And if you can bring any type of value to their life, or if they know they can bring value to yours, they'll do it. So
I love it.
I'm very fortunate that, he just happened to be watching me work for Jack Daniels and the wet plate stuff.
You never know.
Get a hold of a Willie, producer to come down and ask me to do it. So.
That is incredible.
How about it?
Who is, you know, I would imagine he'd be up there, but like, is that your most notable photo that you've ever taken? I mean, it's fucking Kermit the Frog.
As far as like
Willie
idols
Nelson.
in our time.
Yeah.
Yes. I think Willie is definitely up there.
Anyone else that's like super surprising and like random, you know, celebrity type people?
I would say there's a lot of actresses and performers I've photographed, and even now, like it's the folks who, you know who they are, you know what they starred in, and then you're like, oh, their name. Who's the woman in Lost, and she was also in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh,
Ilva Jellicoe. I can't remember her name.
I know who you're talking about.
I photographed her, and it's a wonderful photograph, and it's even in this moment like, oh my god, I photographed her. I have to share that soon. She's wearing my pea coat because it's so cold out, and she just had a white t-shirt on in this bar, and I was like, I got my pea coat. I just got to go to my car to get it. So
that's awesome.
I wish I could remember her name. Who's the guy at Gus Spring?
Oh, holy shit!
No, yeah, I wanted you to have that moment, but so I was setting up tintypes in the same building that day that I shot her, and he'd walked over and, what do you got going on here? But I was setting up, like my darkroom is now going up. My lights aren't up yet, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, or do the right thing. you know, the guys didn't do the right thing and everything. Why can't I think of his name? But yeah.
And he's, you know, he's very interested, but I'm not anywhere near timing for him to stand by wait for me to set up.
Still though, that's, I mean,
close.
Just as memories, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And if that guy ever sees you again, you know, probably remember you.
Fingers crossed.
Wow.
How about it?
That is hell of a story.
And now I'm, my goal, where I think the most talent, or not talent, but like the photographs I want to take right now, I don't have like any true human being right now that comes to mind. You know, we're all looking across the board right now for people who are going to stand up for a lot of things now. So I am looking for somebody that represents, you know, the you know, like a David and Goliath kind of story. I'm looking for the David right now in my life when it comes to whether it's political or community. But right now, I found myself getting into beekeeping. So I'm going to devote my first ever photo project to beekeepers come spring with with tintypes.
Love it.
So that's that's on my mind.
I had a apiarist on here quite a while ago.
Yeah?
Yeah. Her name is Alyssa Fine. She owns Pittsburgh Honey.
Okay.
Which is a brick and mortar location. I want to say it's in Squirrel Hill, but that was my first, you know, that's another thing that's fascinating. I saw you've been getting into it recently. Yeah. I have been, you know, I'm allergic to bees, but I want to get I would love to have a hive out here. I want to get some chickens and everything. There's another guy who is a apiarist who was in the thick of it these past few months, but he's going to come on here too.
Terrific.
He makes a wonderful honey, but his brand is B-Boy Honey.
B-Boy Honey. I know who it is, but don't know who them directly.
Yeah, I think his Instagram name is like Royal Gels or something like that. Awesome. But yeah, dude, really.
I hope, the next time I come on here to be like beekeeping,
we're gonna do it. Yeah, I would love to. You have a hive at your house?
I've got two, so I can't take all the credit. Mary Joy, my wife, she's the one that I want to get in. I want to be a beekeeper.
Yeah.
Now we have the home, we got the bees, and I've kind of become I love it so much that I'm out there more often, just because it does the thing for me that I need in my life, and it keeps me away from doing the squirrel thing. Or
episode 10 of the podcast, right? So you're 315. Episode 10, one of my brother's best friends growing up, he's just a random dude that taught soccer and works a regular job, but he lived in, you know, I say this slightly, but one of the lower end places in McKeesport.
Oh yeah.
So you know, McKeesport has a reputation, but he lives in the 10th ward, and he was a beekeeper in the 10th ward. So and he came on and we talked all about it. I got to see his hives and everything like that. But it's just you know, I don't know, dude. I love that there's like a resurgence of you know, these working with your hands, people making candles, people making soaps, people doing all this shit.
They want to unplug.
Homesteading.
That's
really what it is. Homesteading. I got into making hot sauces and everything like that. I love it.
Utility. That's what I've always, from my upbringing, not that I was poor, but we always had to use what we had.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate. My wife is also the same ethos and the same thought.
I love it.
So, you know, I think, you know, blacksmithing is another one of those, you know, skills I really hope comes back, because we need
100%.
Forgers out there. And who knew I would also be a beekeeper? I didn't know. I can't wait to the next craftsmanship or what's it called? It's a proper word for beekeeper and what I do. And
Trade?
Yeah. The next tradesperson, what that would be.
Yeah.
Wood whittler. I don't know.
Yeah, man. It's incredible.
How about it?
I truly loved this conversation. I love every conversation that I have with people, but you know, there's some people that you just don't expect to have a story that is just completely, you know, just, you know, overwhelming with you know, entertainment. And for me, I truly, dude, out of 315 people, I could truly say that this is one of my favorite conversations that we've had. And it's so cool because you know, I thought that you were just, you know, just a guy that just picked up a random thing, but you truly have an incredible story.
Thank you.
And I really love it. I could sit here and talk to you forever, but we're about to be at 2 hours and 45 minutes. So we have to get to the ending segment. Before we get to the ending segment, I just want to know what your goal goals are. You know, I know you're building your studio. I know you have a home. I know you're welcoming a kid. You just not randomly, but you just recently got married to your wife. But like, what is a goal that you have?
Well, so right now, so I am building a daylight studio, as if it was 1870 again. You're gonna walk into. I'm constantly looking for ways to just be more present. The way my mind works, I am constantly trying to work on that muscle. That's why the bees are now a wonderful part about my life. The studio I'm building, it's gonna change things up in my portfolio, and it's gonna be like the exact way they would have done wet plates and tintypes from the era, where you actually have to sit in front of me. We will discuss, what this end product will be and who you wish to come off as, but you will have to sit for anywhere from 2 seconds to maybe even like 15-second exposures. And it's the natural way of doing wet plate. You can never replicate it with strobe lights or continuous lights. You truly are making light with the sun, and you're using elements from the earth, like silver, and you're making it into this fixed image that will last until the sun burns the earth up. But I look forward to, I'm constantly looking for ways to just stop for a moment, whether that's just a need of mine, a childhood thing, but I like just give me another second in this spot. It's almost like a cry. Like I just need just one more second. Just let's stay in this moment right here. I'm constantly wanting that. And I hope that people in that seconds or that exposure time, that they realize for a second, a lot of people, when they look at how distracted we are now with our phones, now sitting in front of in my studio, in front of my lens, and I say, hey, you're going to do 7 seconds exposure. However, you forgot that I also need to load the plate holder up, which is another 4 seconds. So now you're sitting there for 11 seconds, and your only thing that you should worry about is what's in front of you. And it's amazing and wonderful to watch people go through that, especially nowadays.
Oh yeah.
So I hope that I hope to share that experience with people, but also I need it. I'm ready to change things up with my portfolio. I've been working with the strobes forever. I know I'm pretty good at it, so I'm ready to go back into something a little bit more, a lot more controlled, a lot more on purpose.
Yeah.
So
love that.
Thank you.
All right. Ending segment that I do with everyone is an ending segment called Desert Island Questions.
I was not ready for this at all.
I'm glad. I don't tell anyone about this just because I want it to be a spontaneous thing. So, desert island questions, whenever I give each guest 3 categories to take with them on a desert island and use until they starve to death and die. First category is 3 movies that you would take. So if you got, crashed on a desert island, you have that little TV back there and you can only have 3 movies to watch for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Gosh, the one that just floods my mind right now is Children of Men. Absolutely.
Incredible.
Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. Oh man, this third one, I know I'm going to be forgetting about the one I really want, but the one that comes to cinematic wise and just like, wow, is Saving Private Ryan. It has nothing to do with me being in the Army.
Yeah.
It's just a
beautiful movie.
Yeah.
It really is a beautiful movie. Okay. Are you a reader?
Not as much as I should be.
Okay. Second. Okay. So do you have a book that you would like to take with you?
See, the thing is, I read so many artist books, as far as just like their life and like how to, especially like right now, all these bee books.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, I spoke earlier about just the photography book and the artist statement that was Henry Cartier-Bresson of, it starts with a T. I would definitely take with me just for sentimental value.
Yeah.
But it's mostly, again, it's just artist statement and why he took the pictures he took.
Okay. That's fair.
Trying to think of an actual, what's the last time I read like a book?
That's all right.
Travels with Charlie was the last book I read.
Travels with Charlie.
I think it's what it is.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
It's a Stein book.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Travels with Charlie. That's the last book I read.
Steinbeck?
Steinbeck. My bad. Yeah. See?
That's all right. Okay. Perfect. Third category is 3 CDs.
First and foremost, is the first one will absolutely be Is a Real Boy by Say Anything.
Incredible.
Yeah, I just happened to hit me at the right time in life. For some reason, I love that album so much. The second one is dear to me. It's Third Eye Blind, the Red Album version.
Another incredible one.
And then the third one, I think about my dad, and his favorite song is from CCR. So, and I can't remember the album, but it's Looking Out My Back Door.
That's all right. I'll give you greatest hits.
Yeah, it has to be, because it's whatever track that's on album wise. I think about that'll just put me right back to my dad. So
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Third to last question is the death row meal. So you're getting ready to go. You're getting ready to get put to death. You get one last meal before you get put to death. You get an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. What is it?
Ooh, well, I forever want to be stuck in having the meal of a hot turkey sandwich. Cover the fries and everything with gravy, and then only from Sir Barney's restaurant from where I'm from, only because it just will remind me forever going with my grandparents and my parents. That's the only reason that meal means so much to me. So I'd want that.
Okay.
You said dessert, right?
Yep.
Pumpkin pie.
Perfect.
Was there anything else?
Appetizer.
Appetizer. Mozzarella sticks.
I swear to God, it's the most chose answer
Has to be.
out of everyone, and they are great.
Or radishes on the side.
Just regular.
Regular radishes. I used to go to Haas's all the time. I hated salads as a kid, but I had to eat something because my stepmom, you have to get something. So I just get like radishes and broccoli.
Unreal Haas's. I miss it. I miss it.
Yeah.
Okay. Second to last question is you're getting ready to go on a road trip. You're hopping in your bus. You stop into a gas station. You get to pick a snack of your choice. What is it?
Oh, it's gonna be Reese's for sure.
Reese's?
Oh no! I take that back. No, that's totally a lie. That is definitely a choice. But the one thing I am grabbing, if they have it, for sure, if they have it, Necco wafers.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You can't
I
honestly
love the crunch.
Oh my God. You might as well eat a chalk stick.
Exactly. I
No,
love
that's
it.
all right. That's I don't know if anyone has ever, out of all these people, I don't know if anyone has ever picked a
wafers.
Necco wafer.
The only place that Sheetz has them, they're too much money now.
Yeah.
The second place that has them, we can get them if you want them, is Five Below. They have it.
Good to know.
$1.50.
For anyone that wants Necco wafers, get them at Five Below.
Yep.
Okay, last question. If you could have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be and why? And if you could forego a loved one.
Are you saying forego a loved one? Like,
Yeah, forego, like I would assume that, a family member or like a loved friend or something like that. But if you could, pick someone that you're not affiliated with that you'd be interested in.
Okay. That's good that you say that way, because I'm like, Irving Penn was a photographer. He's no longer, of course, with us. He's older. He was a fashion and editorial guy. I would love to have a conversation. Just you can usually find out a lot about someone, how they speak and how they view the world. I would love to listen to him, just have a conversation with somebody to see how he is a portrait photographer with people. Because that's what you have to be. You have to be personable. You have to direct. And you have to be somewhat of a magician, so people don't know that you're pulling something out of them that they would never actually give out.
You're honestly very good at it. Like I sat there and I videoed you for, probably an hour that day, hour and a half watching you work. And you do really good at it.
Thank you.
For you to be able to balance all that lighting and still be able to, give direction in a way that is not just you barking at someone and still making it fun and still making it a good experience with children, with anything like that. It was a pleasure to watch you work.
Oh my gosh.
Float up.
Thank you very much.
But for real, I seriously appreciate you coming over and talking to me and telling me your story.
Thanks, man.
Really, really an incredible life up to this point. I'm sure that whenever you come back in a couple years and you talk to me about anything else, we're going to have another great conversation. But I do appreciate your time.
Thanks,
really
man.
do.
Thank you.
Now take a second, tell everyone where they could, find your work, how they could, potentially get a tintype from you.
Great. Yeah. So right now, the best way of seeing my work, so every so often it's going to be Instagram. That's going to be Joseph Wyman Photo, JOSEPHWYMAN Photo. Instagram is where I spend most of my life on. My website is also josephwymanphoto.com. That will be updated soon with photographs that you can actually buy and tintypes, one-of-a-kind tintypes and prints. But Instagram is definitely where you'll find me, and everything else is just Joseph Wyman.
Another quick question. I'm sorry. Why Joseph Wyman over Joe Brown?
So that is really out of Google's fault.
I was going to say, it was probably a little bit easier.
I grew up with, I am Joe Brown.
Yeah.
It's been the coolest thing ever to have that name.
Yeah.
But when, in college, when they tell you to come up with a website and for your portfolio, you have to come up with a name. And I just didn't have time for like Silver and Light or a name. So I realized,
Silver and Light.
Yeah, I started out with J. Wyman Photo because someone had J. Wyman Photography.
Yeah.
No fault to her own. Her name was Jamie. She's out of Florida, but it's not photography I wanted to be associated with.
Yeah.
Because I lost jobs because of that. So I ended up changing it fully to Joseph Wyman Photo. And it does sound proper. It does feel like I do feel professional when I say it out loud.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting when people are like, Mr. Wyman. It's like, it's Mr. Brown.
That's all right.
But I don't fault them. Yeah.
And last question, why don't you use TikTok over Instagram?
I think it's a habit. I would love to, whether it's I post to Instagram and then have that habitual want and need to go to TikTok. I know
it's the same content.
It really is.
Save it and just post it.
It really is. I think with me not wanting to spend any more time on this thing that I already do. I also feel absolutely terrible for any person who's inspired by my work. To only find like one good avenue to actually get a hold of me. And I already feel bad that I don't like follow through with a DM or from somebody asking such a basic question that I could easily say, do this.
Yeah.
Or, so I feel bad if I'm already stretched thin.
Yeah.
When it comes to engagement.
Yeah.
That's really the problem. And then just a habitual wave. I do want to get on TikTok, but I'm also
I feel like you'd be absolutely silly not to, especially with the quick videos that you have. Just save it, toss it on there. Don't even open it up and look at it again. Just type in your thing. DMs do not get answered.
We also have to wait for what's going to happen with who's going to own what, and does it go with my values and principles?
I know we're in a wild time, but
you're right.
Great conversation. Thank you. Really
you.
Appreciate it. Everyone else that's listening, appreciate yinz as usual. Each and every week we're back with another great guest doing great things for the city. Thank you for listening. Call you right back.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Fucking 3-hour long podcast.
That went by pretty fast.